everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 70 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series, where today I want to go check in on my miner, because he's been running, and look, he's still running. Alright, now in fairness, I'm recording this episode immediately after the previous episode, and as a result, I haven't closed the world out and logged back in yet. So that's one thing I haven't tested. However, it's still running really well. So, worst case, if I have to, like, kickstart this thing and get him going again after a world unload and reload, that's fine. I'm not saying it won't work, I'm just saying I haven't tested it. Those are two very different things. So as you can see, I also added a fourth row to the miners here, and it's going really well. Really quite nicely. It hasn't been all that much time since I ran this thing. So literally, I would call this running about 4 times faster than it was before we tweaked it. And also, again, the main key here is that chunk loaders equals yay, right? I mean, that's the most important part here of this edition was the chunk loaders. It means it can run while I'm back in the overworld doing other things, or working on my nuclear reactor, or whatever. Now that said, one thing I'd like to do, if I may, is consider uranium. Right? And gold, which are two things that we need a lot more of than we currently have. Now, some resources we're getting a ton of. So like iron, for example, we're totally flush with iron. I am not sweating iron. Copper, doing really nice, right? Gold, definitely a little bit hurt on, because gold's really rare and a lot of mods use it. So what I thought would be a really cool plan for today might be, as you can see on my tooltips on the left, jump into yield chemical dissolution chamber and go 5x ore processing. 5x ore processing. So we'll take all the ores that are coming in to our base, instead of tripling, we'll quintuple them, which to my knowledge is the highest ore improvement that you can do, right? So yes, definitely. So there's a handful of things we need to prep in order to get this going, but I think it won't actually be that bad. So, in order to quintuple your ores, the most you can do in Mechanism, we're going to need to drop some ore into sulfuric acid, which, hey, remember we were making that already? I do. So we may just, like, tap into that a little bit. So what if we got an ender tank or two, right? I could make a couple of these, right? Boom, 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 right? And what if we made it yellowish? We have no dandelions? No dandelions? Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. Now, in fairness, what I could do is something smarter than just fly out in the world to get some dandelions, but you know me. I ain't all that smart. Hey, look, dandelions. Woot. I should do something about the lack of dandelions at some point, but we'll see. So that's step one, right? Like, let's just snag the sulfuric acid that we're already making out and about in our clearing area there. Let's see. Oh man, I can only sleep during the day. I can only sleep at night. I guess it's neither. So if we did boop, boop, and then we did doot, doot, right? So yellow for sulfuric acid, yellow, white, white. Why not? That sound cool? Hey, don't do that. No, no, no. I like my grass floor. Episode 70, and we have a grass floor still. Surprising no one. So, hey, sulfuric acid. What if we, for fluids or gases, I guess you're a gas. Are you a gas? Sulfuric acid? I would expect sulfuric acid to be a liquid, wouldn't you? Is sulfuric acid a gas? I guess it is. I mean, I guess so, right? Sulfuric acid goes in tanks, but sulfuric acid can also be a gas. So I guess this sulfuric acid is a gas. Aha! So maybe an under tank is not the way to go here. And I'm only saying this because there's no fluid export, right? So there's items config, gases config, and energy config, right? So I'm thinking quantum entangloper then might be the way to go. Entangloporter. Everybody keeps yelling at me for saying wrong. Quantum entangloporter. There you go, all fixed. So we'll use those under tanks for something else. So we'll get a quantum entangloporter going, right? And you can be sulfuric acid. Okay, so I'm going to pop you here. You will, oh good, you're all set to off. Nice. So what I'd like is gases on the left to be input, right? And you're going to delete fissile fuel, because that is definitely not what we want. And what we're going to want is... Yeah, this was my entangloporter that I had on my tiny reactor that I since broke. All right, so then what we're going to do... Did I just delete the whole channel? I may have. Oh. Fire, please. Sorry, UI confused me. So if I activate you, you're low. Scram! Let's fix this real quick. Fissile fuel. All right, so you're at 412 and change. You're going to be set to fissile fuel, and that should fix this connection. Yes, 416 and even. Nice. And then you, sir, will be sulfuric acid. So no need to reinvent the wheel here, right? We do that, and then all of a sudden, that's right, friends. Dyer's got a sword. Beat it. Lovely mechanic. Very much a huge fan of these things. Oh, you haven't slept in a few days? Okay, no worries. We'll just send some annoying mobs at you. Better sleep. Alright, so sulfuric acid. Gases can output out the front. Oh, no, that's not right. Gases. Output blue. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. So he's going to fill up his sulfuric acid, which will be cool. And remember, sulfuric acid is literally just water and sulfur dust, which we get from wood, right? And spoiler alert, we have 9,500 oak logs, so we're just fine there. Shouldn't be a problem. So sulfuric acid, again, no reason to reinvent the wheel here, right? So this is super easy. We just keep this going. And everybody's happy, right? I think that's pretty cool, right? So we just have to keep you happy, and sulfuric acid will fill up, and it'll back stuff again, and then be ready to export over to here, right? So that's one thing that we need. So what I'm going to get is my chemical dissolution chamber here. Let's kick off all the craftings that we're going to need, right? And then what I'll probably wind up doing is moving this. As you can see, my advanced exporter, I removed gold and uranium because those are the things I need the most of. Everything else I left in there because I'm not sweating. Okay? So let's see. I've got... Realistically, we just need... So what we need to do, let's make sure we know exactly what we need to do. So uranium ore will go into a chemical dissolution chamber to make dirty slurry. So that's 1 block, right? And then we need to clean it in a chemical washer. So that's 2 blocks. And then we need to crystallize it in a chemical crystallizer. So that's 3 blocks. And then we will get this. And then a 4th block will be this guy to get uranium shards. And then they can go into the purification chamber, which is here. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. All right, so that means we're going to have to clear out a little bit of space here, but not too much. And if we set everything up correctly, we should be fine. So advanced universal cable, let's get, a couple more sets of those. I could use ultimate, but, I mean, doesn't matter. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe I want ultimate? I don't even know. I mean, for now, it doesn't really matter just because it just doesn't, but, yeah. Cool. So my chemical dissolution chamber will go here. Let me guess, I'm out of one of those stupid resources again. Yep, I'm out of refined obsidian, enriched obsidian, or whatever it is. How's my diamond situation? Hurting. And again, I haven't automated that because I'm not flush for diamonds. I mean, can I automate this? Yes, but it would use up a lot of diamonds. And that's my concern. There we go. Nice. So that would be you, right? So what we'll do is we would export bus into this thing, and what we could probably do is have our quantum entangloporter and I'm just gonna... I wish it was like defaulted to everything off, or a way to make it default to everything off. That would be cool. Not that I'm even transporting any other resources, but, like, I'm just saying. So gases would be output to the top, and then you can be sulfuric acid set, and then you should be getting sulfuric acid if I configure your gases to be input from the bottom, but you probably just need your gases set to eject on, and then now you're getting sulfuric acid. Beautiful! Told you we could pull it off. Told you we could do it. So that sounds cool. Alright, so that's good. We're ready to do that piece of it now, and then we're going to need the washer, right? So the chemical washer. And you, the only thing you didn't know how to make was this, right? So that's easy enough. So everything else should be in progress here. And this will need water, which we can totally handle, right? Because we've got ender tank for that, right? Hey, that's not where I wanted you. I wanted you here. Right? So let's get our ender tank. We'll get some blue dye. And I'm pretty sure he'll output to the top, but if he doesn't, we'll have to just do a quick pipe. But I'm pretty sure when you flip that doohickey, he's going to output to all sides. Boom. So water going in, that's pretty cool. Nice. All right, so let's test this out real quick. I'm just going to get a single piece of uranium ore, which, by the way, doing really good. I don't know if you remember from the beginning of the episode, but gold, I did not have 47 gold, or even close to it. So I popped this in here, right? And then I'm guessing, are you going to auto-output to the right? Yes, you did. Good job. And then your dirty uranium slurry is turning into clean uranium slurry. How great is that? Okay. And then that stuff goes into a chemical crystallizer. Chemical oxidizer, chemical infuser, chemical washer, chemical crystallizer. There you go. So a little bit of cooking later. Might need some more of that obsidian-y stuff, but we'll find out. Nope, we didn't. Nice. Hey. Get back here. And that one's really quite simple. Clean uranium slurry. Uranium ore. So cool. Nice. All right. I don't know what that means up there, but I guess it means something. Yeah, look at this. 5x in it. See? So it's 200 millibuckets. So 1 uranium ore is going to turn into 5 uranium crystals. And we haven't even sped these machines up yet. How cool is that? So then the last one, the last machine that we have to drop in here is the chemical injection chamber. So we're going to want one of those. Hey, we have one of those. Sweet. Okay, now for side config items, we will allow in on there and output there and eject on. So if we U items output eject on, that'll automatically land in there. Sweet. Now you have water vapor in you, which is a bad time, which is not what I would like. Is there a way to clear that? I don't like that. I don't like water vapor being in there. I just voided that whole machine because of a little water vapor. That's how I roll. Chemical injection chamber. Requires a purification chamber, which requires an enrichment chamber. Yeah, that's a chain. Okay, so that would be U becomes U becomes U. Nice. Okay. So now we got to figure out the last piece of this puzzle, which I'm thinking wouldn't be too hard, right? And that is you need either hydrogen chloride or salt from Mechanism. Really? I can just throw salt in here and be done? Rather than do the whole hydrogen chloride thing? Because hydrogen chloride would be hydrogen, which obviously we're producing and I think voiding right behind this thing, combined with chlorine, which we would get from electrolytically separating brine into sodium and chlorine. However, apparently it works with salt. So can I just get literally salt from Mechanism and do this? It looks like the answer is yes, but not much. Looks like we would need quite a bit of salt. Not literally 1 salt. So yeah, we're going to need a lot more salt than that. So the question is, do we want to split it or do the salt approach? Because we can get salt from Mechanism directly from brine in a chemical crystallizer. So we could literally turn 15 millibuckets of brine, gaseous brine, which we get from decondensating regular brine, right, into salt. So that, let's try that way, because I've literally never done it that way before. So what we would want would be a decondensator. What, don't you know how to make these? So rotary condensator here, set to decondensating. Cool. Do you connect? You don't. There you go. All right, that's cool. And let's get our speed and whatnot upgrades. You know, I'm gonna want 32 each. Okay. So salt comes in via the chemical crystallizer. Okay. And get me a drawer real quick with a key and an external storage. And that sounds cool, right? So we'll make salt down here, and then we'll try exporting and busting it up there. And if it's not fast enough, we'll try the hydrogen chloride approach. Either one should work, in theory, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure which one's better, which one's more useful. It's not giving me good numbers on salt, but considering we threw 4 pieces of salt in there and like barely made any progress on one, I'm leaning away from salt. But let's just try it because I've literally never tried it before. And guess who probably needs more refined obsidian? Actually, no, I don't need more refined obsidian. I need more diamonds. Yeah, luckily, we're in pretty good shape with that. Enrichment chamber. There you are. Cool. Really need to get around to automating this all at some point. It would be neat if I could either silk touch or fortune the drills from create. I don't think there's a way to do that. I might be wrong. You know, instead of drills, we could use deployers with, like, a pick on it of some kind that's unbreakable. Kind of like we did with the hammer. So if we use, like, an infinity hammer and we enchanted it. I don't know. Just spitballing ideas here. Alright, so you're going to go here, buddy. So your job will be to side config gases output right. Cool. Let's get you some energy. Let's get some of this happening. There you go. Nice. Gaseous brine turning into salt. May not really make sense to do. Legitimately might be a really stupid thing that I'm doing right now. But fun. But fun. And I would like the drawer. Man, that is some dire wire. Right here. Hey. With U items configured to output out the back, eject on, should get salt going. Nice. And then we can external U. And worst case, we'll do something with the salt at some point in the future. I mean, I've needed salt for things, right? So it doesn't hurt to have a drawer full of salt. And at some point, he'll back stuff and be cool, right? Bing. All right, so now we should have salt happening. Now, whether that salt is enough is remains to be seen. So let's take a stack of salt now and see how useful that is in this thing. Okie dokie then. That was a comically useless amount of production. That was so bad. I don't even know how to respond. I don't even know what to say about that. But big oofs. So we will not be doing that, will we? No, sir. No, sir. No, I don't think we will. So I think it's fair to say we're going to do hydrogen chloride. Yeah, definitely. Now, in fairness, this guy can possibly accept the gaseous upgrades. Chemical injection chamber, you know? So, I mean, maybe? So if we got some more salt now, would that be worthwhile? I'm still going to say no. I'm still going to say no. I'm still going to absolutely say no. Now, none of these should presumably accept. This one might, actually. This one might, actually, and that'll save me on some gas. So let's make that happen. We'll save me some sulfuric acid. Not that sulfuric acid is expensive, but, like, why waste it? Yes, that's better. So yeah, we're going to want to do the other approach to brine. So I don't know if I want you doing what you're doing anymore. I don't like anything about you. So what if we instead did this, right? So hydrogen chloride comes... So we need chlorine and hydrogen to combine into hydrogen chloride. And chlorine comes from electrolytic separating brine. So what we'll want here is, instead of this nonsense... right? Which I might just void at some point. But we want an electrolytic separator. And then what we're going to want is probably... That's cool. So you're brine, right? And mechanism upgrades. Let's get another 32. And another 32. And that should be cool. I'd like you guys to be making the speed upgrades now. There we go. Sweet. So now we've got chlorine and we've got sodium. Now, sodium I don't think I need at the moment, but I might at some point. And if I do, then we'll deal with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump excess sodium, and we will keep the chlorine that we need, and we'll combine it with hydrogen to make hydrogen chloride, right? So hydrogen chlorine. So to do that, we should have some hydrogen going on up here, right? Don't we have hydrogen here somewhere? We've got an electrolytic separator. This is a chemical tank with who knows what in it. Oxygen, I presume. Hydrogen's here. And hydrogen's in this tank. Wow. Dire wire to the extreme. I can pull this off. I can pull this off. I have faith in me that I can do this. Cool. So let's get some advanced pressurized tubes. Right, we don't need ultimate for this. I don't think. Come on, Chief. There you go. So how do we want to do this? Because ultimately what we want to have is the chemical the injection chamber here getting your chloride stuff, right? Now, what are the chances, oh, that's a mess, that we could tap into that hydrogen from beneath? Because that would make my life supremely cooler. So the hydrogen was here, right? Should I shrink this up? Should I do that? Or you know what I could do? You know what I could do? I could totally this. And your config could be output out the back. Yes? Ooh, I like. Ooh, I like. Are you upgraded to, like, the max? You are not upgraded to the max, and you probably should be at this point, but we'll see. Because then I could go like this and this. Because that doesn't... Oh, that even... Look at that. That's cool. We'll see. We'll see if we really need that to happen, but this is going to be a little bit messy. So this is the oxygen, right? Yes. So let's assume that this is going to be our hydrogen. Yeah, that's what's up. Okay, cool. And you're not waterlogged, and that's good. Cool. So that's going to be your hydrogen. Now, can I tap into that chlorine somehow? Probably. I could either run a tube up there, or we could quantum entangle over it, but I kind of want to do the tube. Like, obviously, there's a few ways we could do this, but running the tubes just sounds funner. Advanced pressurized tubes. Get me a few more of those. Alright, so you no longer need to exist. But what I'm going to do... And I'm assuming that's chlorine coming out of there? Yes. I'm going to assume that that's what's happening. Sweet. Okay, not too shabby. And then we're going to want hydrogen chloride is made in a chemical infuser. There we go. Okay, so you chemical infuser, let's just clear out all the sidedness of this for a second. Right, so you are going to, on the back, inject on the red side. So input 1 in the back, chemical infuser. Shouldn't that be cool? Chemical infuser, hydrogen. That should be what's happening here. Oh wait, wrong. There we go, hydrogen. Nice. And then what I'm thinking is the right can be input 2, which is orange, and that'll be your chlorine. Boom. And now you're making hydrogen chloride. Boop, boop. And he's getting power from the top, or no? He may not be. But he can in a second. Yeah, we can get power into this dude. There you go. Hydrogen chloride. Haha. Now, I don't want you to accidentally connect to my oxygen there. So what I'm going to do is run out the bottom here over to chemical injection chamber. So that's actually, yeah, I guess because you can. We should be cognizant of that. So what I'm going to do is have you, we're going to ensure, whoops, advanced pressurized tube. No connection there, so when we place an advanced pressurized tube, he's good to go. And then also no connection on the right for advanced pressurized tube into U. Right? And then we want U for side config of gases to output. Boom. Cool. That is looking pretty solid. All right, now U, side config items, eject. And U, side config items, input. Haha! Or quintupling. Look at it go, right? So let's check. That is super clean, thank you very much. Right? But if I throw 1 uranium in here now, he will boom, he will boom, he will dude, he will that, and he will this. And right down the line, and that is some serious business or quintupling. Thank you very much. That ain't bad. That is not too shabby, right? That is not too shabby. So I guess what I would probably want is another exporter. Is there a reason I went advanced exporter? I don't really know why I went advanced exporter. Was there a reason for advanced? Is it just because it has more rows here and I thought I might need them? But what I can do now is have, you know, I've got some cabling like right here. So I'll just tap into this one. Boop, boop, boop. And then you exporter. So your side config can be items input on the top. So now if we got uranium and gold, those are the two that I'm most interested in. And you know what else I might want to do? Lead. How's lead doing? Because remember lead was annoyingly low? It was annoyingly low. It's not so bad anymore, but I'm still gonna get it. I'm gonna hold off on processing it. So then we do gold, and that's looking really good. And the best part of this is that the export bus doesn't need any speed upgrades. Not that that's a big deal, but still super cool. Dirty gold slurry. What is happening? We can't possibly be out of sulfuric acid, can we? What is that? No, that's not sulfuric. Water. Ah, yes, water. So here's a problem that I need to solve. You, sir, as adorable as you are, I don't want you to do this anymore, right? What I'm going to do is just have a bucket of water. The problem is that machine down there just uses so much stinking water. I'm going to have a dedicated pump for him. Is what I'm going to do. And I feel like that's probably a good point, right? So flux. And how are you for upgrades? Speed and energy upgrades. Maxed. Perfect. Right? Because no more do I want this machine's processing and usage of water to impact all the other ender tank waters. Like, everything else is using a little bit of water here and there. That thing's using so much water that my pumps can't keep up even a little bit. So this should now really be quite happy. Going really well, actually. I'm quite pleased with this. Yeah. Man, water is just, you know, yeah. Not bad. Look at all the gold we're going to get from this. I love it. Oxygen's hurting. So maybe I do want to up that electrolytic separator a little bit. Yeah. So he's got energy 8, he's got speed 3. So just because I like having the right number of speed upgrades, I'm going to make 5 more. And this dude now has lots of oxygen happening. He does have gas upgrade 8, which is good. I'm going to call that a win. You think the guy down under here can take gas upgrades? The thing I just made, the hydrogen chloride guy? I'm going to assume no, but I might be wrong. Can't hurt to try. Nope, he does not look like he takes them. Alright, cool. So how's this feel? Everybody like this? I think it looks good. So I'm going to call that wrapping up point for the episode. And that, frankly, I'm pretty proud of how clean I kept that build. That is not bad at all. That is really pretty clean. That was a very easy tweak our existing setup kind of situation. Right? Like, that is not bad. So who's the slowest point of this? Chemical injection chamber? I assume that there's no upgrade. So he's going to basically just run as fast as he is now. And that's okay. That's okay. Because it'll take a little longer to process, but it's still going to quintuple. And we're only going to process... Do I have more lead yet, by the way? We do have more lead. Yay. So I'm going to add lead to my tripling or quintupling line. And uranium as well, obviously. And that will get those guys all processed. So now, right, it's slowly but surely clearing through the backlog of junk. And if it ever became a problem, we could have more of these, obviously. I don't think there's a factory for this, right? I don't think there's a factory. There's combining, purifying, right? So that's the third tier, right? So this guy can really only go into a chemical injection. Oh, there is actually an injecting factory. Look at that. Hold on. So let's tier upgrade you. Tier from mechanism. That might actually be a thing that we can do. And that would be cool, right? One more little upgrade. Make things all the betters. Yeah, and then split you or whatever. But chemical crystallizer is going to be your slowest point now. Yeah. Actually, chemical washer is your slowest point. Did I speed upgrade him? I did. I speed upgraded everybody. But yeah, your slowest point really is your chemical washer, which I can't imagine a tier upgrade will work on you. Again, is it the big deal? No. Yeah, see, you don't click. None of these click onto this guy. So yeah, that's not gonna... So he's gonna be your slowest point now. Well, the crystallizer and the washer are gonna be your two slowest points. Not a huge deal, though, because like I said, it'll eventually clear up, and we'll get lead, and then we'll get uranium, and quintupling is totally worth it for those. And I'm specifically not doing it for things like iron, tin, and copper, because we have so much of that, that we don't want to gum up the whole works with that kind of setup, right? So that's cool. Now, the only other thing we could do is maybe throw another tier upgrade for some of you guys. Maybe I should just teach you guys tier upgrades. That might not be a bad idea, right? Because you don't know how to make any of these. And that'll just help speed up the ore processing. Ore processing isn't bad, by the way, right now. It's fine. So I'm happy with it. So let's wrap up the episode here. We'll come back next time. We will hopefully have far more gold, among other things, in uranium, which will help us out. And then next episode, I'm thinking hopefully we will have gotten enough gold and redstone. We're already at 3,000 redstone, so we should be pretty close to being able to make those ultimate dudes that we want to make, right? Yeah, now we're just missing sand. Not terrible. Not terrible. Speaking of, did something gum up in here? Because I noticed my sand and glass factory stuff hasn't been behaving so much. So did something break? Yeah, you are being a little bit gummy. Oh, look at that. How did, well, that's what broke. There you go. Machine fixed. Somehow arrows got in there. I guess a skeleton spawned at some point and gummed up the whole works, but now it'll go back to working, and that's cool. All right, wrapping up point for the episode for sure. Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That's ore quintupling with mechanism in a super compact and nice way, using mostly stuff we already had up and running. So that's cool. All right, guys, take it easy.